Hello, everybody. Welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. Episode 100. We made it. More importantly, you made it. If you've made it this far, thank you for your support. I appreciate all of you. I started the year with 4 subscribers. I'm up to 23. Michael Jordan's number. That's nice. So I thank you guys for listening. Many of you guys probably agree with me on a lot of stuff. Many of you guys maybe disagree with me, and that's fine. I just appreciate your listenership, your subscribership, whatever it is. So thank you. And this is just fun for me. Most of the time. I mean, it's just I try not. I hope I'm not ranting too much, but that's kind of what this review is about. I'm trying to get rid of the end of the month reviews and maybe just hit a review every 100 episodes and just talk about what I talked about the previous 99 episodes, because the end of the month thing just felt like a filler episode. And I just want to try to get better at this. Any suggestions you guys have for me to get better, please put in the comments. I would love that. I do this just because I love it. I love just talking, and that's why I do comedy, and that's why I get to, that's why I love working with children with special needs. I get to communicate stuff and try to bring some joy and some meaning into their lives and try to get them educated so hopefully they become independent adults. So this is part of me. This is going to drive me crazy. Okay, there we go. Sorry, there was a speck on my phone. It looked like I had like a mole on my nose like a witch, so I had to get rid of that or it was going to drive me crazy. I appreciate you guys. You don't have a choice if you're watching this, but I appreciate you guys dealing with my digressions and my just off the rail comments and my ramblings and my, I don't know, I'm going to call them tributaries of conversation. It starts as a raging river. The plan is the raging river, but I get off. Next thing I know, I'm in a creek. Next thing I know, I'm in a tributary where my canoe can barely even make it through, and there's reeds and shit. And I just keep talking. I just keep stroking that oar and trying to get through. And you guys have been awesome about that. Like I say, I would love suggestions. Maybe I need to stay on point. Not maybe. I definitely could stay on point better. I could also do a better job at researching stuff because sometimes they're opinions, but I want them to be at least semi-educated opinions, don't you? I don't want to come off as a know-it-all, but I also want to at least come off as, oh, did you read one article about what you're talking about? Did you, where did you, because you seem very misinformed. I could see that happening, and sometimes I am. Once again, opinions, but still, I want them to be better. I also appreciate you guys checking out anything else you've checked out on my YouTube channel. I do like that I've got a lot of clips from my comedy days. I mean, I'm still doing comedy, but I haven't recorded comedy in a while, and maybe I'll start doing that if you guys would like me to do that. I can record some sets and put them back on there. I've got mostly new material. I'm trying to do that a lot. That's the hard part. Right now, COVID, I don't see a lot to joke about. Most comics don't. We're just trying to make people laugh when they come out and see us. Excuse me. I got the podcast going. I'm happy with that. Another comic, another podcast. I'm only 6 episodes in, but I want to keep that going. It's pretty easy to do because since I'm hosting a mic, there's always a comic that's willing to get on there and talk for anywhere from a half an hour to an hour, so that's nice. Yeah, where are we? From January 1st to April 10th. How did we get here? I don't even know how I came up with this, to be honest. I think I just partially was last year, and that's also another segment on my YouTube channel. I think it's under playlists. When I did Life of John, and this was like early on in COVID. This is like April, I think, of last year, so about a year ago, maybe May. And I was 51, 52 years old at that time. And no, actually, it was close to 53. It doesn't matter. What I was trying to do, though, is I would take 3 years of my life and try to condense it into about 10 minutes. And sometimes that was easy. Sometimes it wasn't so easy. Obviously, years 0 through 2 were pretty easy. I don't remember a lot. Talked about my birth. Talked about New York. And then as I progressed, I ended up, I think, with 18 chapters. And I did that every night. I did it on Facebook Live. So sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I don't know why. That can be squirrely, obviously. But that was a lot of fun for me. And then I think it may be what caused, I don't know if I'd call it an evolution, but it's why I do this. Because I think I can just talk for 10 minutes, hopefully keep it somewhat interesting. I know sometimes I repeat a lot. Sometimes I'm just fucking tired, man. I think I'm get better at doing them in the morning. Then in the evening, I'm just shredded from working usually. Um, but we got another 5 minutes. Let's talk about what I've talked about. Just as going off memory, I know that I've talked about a lot of stuff that's political. I obviously talked about the insurrection. I talked about Trump not being a good loser when it came to the election. We talked about gun control. We talked about the horrific shooting we had a few weeks ago here in Colorado in the grocery store in Boulder. Talked about myself a lot, which hopefully wasn't too boring. Talked about comedy. Talked about my parents, my dad having cancer, my mom having cancer, my mom and I getting along way better than I do with my father. Sometimes I talk about my stepfather, my brother. I mean, almost everyone's had cancer. I think I've even talked about cancer. It's more of a when than if anymore because of the way we've polluted ourselves in this environment. I talk a lot about what other things I talk about. I talk a lot about the economy. Talk a lot about being a leftist in a centrist world. um, talk about my children, Dante and Logan, who are great. I found a lot of things to talk about, and I think what I want to do is and I've talked about this before too, is I want to get better at doing at least a little more research when I go into these videos. My problem is I'm pressed for time. I work a full-time job. My dad wants a piece of me. My mom wants a piece of me. My kids need a piece of me. I do comedy. I'm trying to just prioritize as best I can. Kids come first, period. But I also, I want to still at 53 get some enjoyment out of this life and keep doing fun things. Um, so, but so that's what my what my point was is like, how much research can I do before I do these videos without it feeling like I'm taking time from something else? I think you could probably get a good amount of research in 10 to 20 minutes just by going online. I'd like to talk a little bit more about universal basic income. I want to get to know it better. I want to get to know how the economy works better, to be honest with you. I want to talk about stuff that I talked about in episode 99, where how do we get this place to be better? When I talk about this place, I talk about the planet Earth. What can be done? Is it too late? I don't know. I hope not. Because there are a lot of children on this planet that didn't do anything wrong and deserve at least a somewhat decent planet to grow up in. I talk about differences a lot between people. I often rant about the right. You guys know this about me. Excuse me. Hopefully I've once in a while given shout outs to other creators. I can do that right now. Janky Jank Productions is great. Max and Logan have supported me so much. And I know I haven't supported them as much as they've supported me, so I'm very appreciative of the two of those guys. They're great guys, wonderful creators, and on many levels, they've got Janky Jank is a Jesus Christ, a video game. I think they basically review video games, and I've only checked it out once and kind of forgot about it. It was kind of cool the way they did it. It was in a theater and had a lot of people, so that's basically I believe what they do. But they've also made a couple movies. One called the latest one's called Veneer, and it's wonderful. I'd rather watch it than a blockbuster. I'm not even lying about that. I'd rather watch something that feels like it was somewhat creative and somewhat original, rather than see what Transformers 6 or fucking Fast and the Furious 99. Oh, fuck it. It's my channel. I can say fuck all that. I don't want all that Hollywood schlock. I like that these guys create. Also thankful for people that watch me regularly. If I forget your name, I suck. Just remember that. I can often be a clod. But especially Jennifer Montgomery Reedy, I really appreciate you watching all the way in Germany. And thank you for being part of our wonderful military family. I know that's often a dysfunctional family. I can relate because comedy is also a very dysfunctional family. It's who else? Rochelle Berry often watches. John Marsh, I love you. You're my brother of another mother out in San Francisco. Rochelle's down in Arizona. Janky Jank's here. Those guys. I just love you all, and I appreciate you all. My mother, got to give her a shout out. She watches all of these. She often says, "You better watch out when you talk about this subject because you might lose your job." So thanks, Mom, for caring, and I will do my best to be better about that. So sorry, this was kind of a rambler. A lot of them are. I appreciate all of you. I just loving life right now, even though COVID sucks and I haven't had sex in a while. Outside of those two things, life is really good to me. I got no complaints. I'm a white guy living in America. How could I complain? So that's episode 100. Thanks for sharing this journey with me, and I'm going to try to get at least through the end of the year. And I guess that's all I got to say. I'm over my 10 minutes. See you guys soon. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and have a great whatever you're having. Day, evening, afternoon, make out session, whatever you're having. Have a great one. Much love. Bye.